Costa Rican rainforest floor. Dawn. The ground moves, not shifting, moving, like liquid flowing uphill. 200,000 army ants are on the march, a column 20 meters wide, stretching 200 meters through undergrowth. Every ant is nearly blind. No individual knows where they're going, yet they're hunting. The front splits into 3 synchronized flanks. Left sweeps through hollow logs, right scales tree trunks. Center drives through leaf litter, coordinating an attack pattern that would require military-level communication. But no ant is communicating strategy. A katydid freezes, wrong move. Within 4 seconds, 50 ants swarm it. Within 30 seconds, it's dismembered and carried back in pieces. 20 million ants will pass through this section today, moving as one organism, solving problems in real time, making decisions that look exactly like planning, and not a single ant understands what's happening. So here's the question. Are ant colonies intelligent? And if they're not planning, what exactly is this? 20 quadrillion ants inhabit Earth right now. That's 20 quadrillion. For every human alive, there are 2.5 million ants. 2022. Schultheis and colleagues. PNAS. Landmark study. 489 studies covering 1,306 locations and all continents. Conservative estimate. 20 quadrillion individuals. Collective biomass. 12 megatons of dry carbon. That exceeds the combined weight of all wild birds and mammals on Earth. Ants represent roughly 33% of terrestrial insect biomass, despite being less than 2% of insect species. In the Brazilian Amazon, ant biomass exceeds all land vertebrates combined by a factor of 4. They already dominate. The question isn't whether they could take over. They have. But no ant planned this. A single ant brain contains approximately 250,000 neurons. Humans have 86 billion, ratio of 1 to 344,000. Dr. Deborah Gordon, Stanford professor studying harvester ants for over 30 years. No ant is very competent on its own. Separate an ant from its colony. Depression-like behaviors. Stops eating. Prioritizes finding colony over survival. Dies within days. When dying, 92% voluntarily leave the nest. Chemical signals trigger exit. Protects colony from disease. The queen doesn't control anything. She's a reproductive organ, not a general. Produces 800 to 1,500 eggs annually. Lives 15 to 30 years. Releases pheromones signaling status. 0 commands. When she dies, the colony gradually declines over 2 to 4 months. No panic. Pheromone profiles simply change. No ant knows the queen is gone. So who's in charge? Nobody. Communication happens through 168 identified chemical compounds. The most complex single-species blend uses 14 different compounds. Detection sensitivity is absurd. Leafcutter ants detect trail pheromone at 0.08 picograms per centimeter. Translation, 0.33 milligrams could create a detectable trail around the entire Earth. Information spreads via quorum sensing and encounter rates. Only 11 to 14% of ants gather information firsthand. The majority receive instructions through recruitment cascades. 2014 study using RFID-tagged ants. Simple threshold rules at individual level produce optimal choices at colony level. No individual ant can compare all options, yet colonies make accurate collective decisions anyway. Deborah Gordon discovered something extraordinary in 2012. Collaborating with computer scientist Balaji Prabhakar, she found that harvester ants regulate foraging using an algorithm virtually identical to TCP/IP, the protocol governing internet data flow. The ants invented it first. If you're into evolution accidentally inventing computer science, subscribe for more accidental genius. Fire ants form life rafts in under 2 minutes. 2011 Georgia Tech study. Ants grip each other at 400 times body weight. Average 14 connections per ant. Water-repelling seal. Minimum 10 ants. Can float weeks. Observed after Hurricane Harvey. They followed 2 rules. Grip the ant above you. Stay connected. Emergence. Army ants construct living bridges with 2 rules. 1. When an ant feels others walking on its back, it freezes. 2. When it no longer feels traffic, it releases. From this, bridges continuously adapt to traffic. No ant understands cost-benefit. The colony performs it anyway. Ants invented agriculture 66 million years ago. October 2024. Science. Schultz. Largest genetic dataset ever. 475 fungal species. 276 ant species. Origin coincides with asteroid that killed dinosaurs. Fungi proliferated. Ants evolved to cultivate them. Humans practiced agriculture for 10,000 to 12,000 years. Ants, 6,600 times longer. Leafcutter ants cultivate Leucoagaricus gongolophorus, so domesticated it cannot survive without farmers. Major colonies strip 17% of leaf biomass. Nests contain over 1,000 chambers. 1999. Cameron Curry, Nature. Leafcutter ants maintain three-way symbiosis: the ants, the fungus, and Streptomyces bacteria producing antibiotics. Ants used antibiotics for 50 million years without resistance. Humans developed resistance within decades. No individual ant knows what an antibiotic is. 30 million ants die each year along a single border near San Diego. 2 Argentine ant supercolonies. Continuous battlefront extending miles. Warfare is unceasing. Wood ants experience approximately 10,000 casualties per day during spring battles. Chemical warfare is sophisticated. Formicine ants spray formic acid at 70% concentration. 2014. Science, LeBron. Tawny crazy ants use their own formic acid as antidote to fire ant venom. First documented case of an insect producing and applying its own chemical antidote. Slave-making ants use propaganda pheromones. E.O. Wilson discovered these in 1971. Compounds causing panic in defending colonies while attracting raiders. Then there are the exploding ants, Colobopsis explodens. Formally described 2018. Minor workers rupture their own abdomen, releasing yellow, sticky secretion that immobilizes attackers. Obligate suicide. No ant decides to sacrifice itself. Chemical thresholds trigger the behavior. The largest cooperative animal structure on Earth is the Argentine ant megacolony. California to Japan, verified. 2009, Tsunemura, Insectes socio. Ants from the European supercolony, spanning roughly 6,000 kilometers along Mediterranean coast, do not fight ants from the California large colony, spanning roughly 900 kilometers. They also don't fight ants from the Japanese supercolony. Laboratory settings. They rub antennae in greeting as if from the same colony. Shared genetic profiles. All 3 descended from the same ancestral population, possibly from an 1882 introduction via Madeira. Researchers concluded, this intercontinental supercolony represents the most populous known animal society, excluding humans. Fire ants represent recent invasion, native to South America. Arrived in Mobile, Alabama around 1930s. Spread rates reached 26.5 to 48.1 kilometers per year in China. September 2023. Current biology. First wild European fire ant colonies near Syracuse, Sicily. 88 nests. 50% of European cities at risk. $6 billion annual damage in the United States alone. No ant planned an invasion strategy. Chemical signals and reproductive rates created it. But the system breaks. Failures prove there's no central planner. The death spiral. Ant mill, 1921. William Beebe observed a mill 370 meters in circumference. Ants took 2.5 hours per revolution. Marched until exhaustion killed them. Army ants lose their pheromone track. Each blind ant follows the one ahead. No individual recognizes the loop. They follow until all die. If there were a central planner, this couldn't happen. Colonies also become trapped in suboptimal decisions. Strong pheromone feedback locks them into inferior food sources. 2013 PNS. Colonies outperform individuals on difficult tasks, but individuals beat groups on easy tasks. Positive feedback amplifies mistakes. 2024 PNS study, Weizmann Institute, comparing ants and humans on geometric puzzle solving. Ants performed more efficiently in larger groups. Humans, the opposite. Humans pursued short-term solutions that hindered long-term success. Ant groups demonstrated collective memory. Professor Ofer Feinerman. Simple minds can easily enjoy scalability, while complex brains require extensive communication to cooperate efficiently. 2017, Penn State, Fredrickson, Hughes, PNAS. They revealed how zombie ant fungus actually works. The fungus doesn't infect the ant's brain. Instead, fungal cells infiltrate muscles, acting like a puppeteer, controlling movement directly. Hughes. These manipulated animals were a fungus in ants' clothing. Even the ant's brain doesn't control the ant. The body moves. The brain is intact. Something else pulls the strings. Here's what breaks you about ant colonies. 20 quadrillion individuals, biomass exceeding all wild birds and mammals. Individual ants, 250,000 neurons. Humans, 86 billion. Agriculture for 66 million years, 6,600 times longer than human farming. Antibiotics used 50 million years without resistance. Communication through 168 chemical compounds. Argentine supercolony verified California to Japan. 30 million casualties annually at San Diego Battlefront. Army ant raids coordinating 200,000 nearly blind workers and 0 central planners. No ant issuing commands. No queen controlling strategy. No individual understanding colony goals. Deborah Gordon. What looks like foresight is actually feedback. What seems like design is interaction. Colonies demonstrate agency, track conditions, adjust behavior, make decisions appearing rational, while individual ants remain simple stimulus response machines. The colony thinks without any ant thinking. Memory arises without any ant remembering. Planning emerges without any planner. This is emergence. Intelligence without a mind. Coordination without a coordinator. Strategy without a strategist. And it reveals something fundamental about intelligence itself. It need not be concentrated to be effective. It need not be understood to function. 20 quadrillion simple minds, each following local rules, each unaware of the whole, collectively accomplishing what appears impossible. The ants are not planning world domination. They don't need to. They've already achieved it without a single individual knowing. Subscribe for more species that conquered Earth by accident.